come from all over for the sun, the stars, and the shot at a better life, or just life itself. From a baby's extraordinary first breath to what could have been a man's last.
He looked like he was dead.
Los Angeles has the largest medical community on the West Coast, with scores of specialists in one-of-a-kind surgeries. It's a place of last-ditch efforts and second chances. The hopeful come to the City of Angels to live and die in LA.
I've been here almost 5 years now, and I still don't get tired of it. We do about 1.5 hours of power walking a day, but I do it mainly because I enjoy it. I think a certain amount of exercise is obviously just good for health.
Louise Gold and Peter Voss power walk along the pier in Marina del Rey. Almost 5 miles a day.
I'm more healthy now than I have been in years. And I've been healthy for a long time, but I think this lifestyle change has made my stamina greater. It's made my energy better. My running has been better.
She's an accountant and marathon runner. He's a researcher in the field of artificial intelligence. They've both undertaken a radical strategy to extend their lives.
Why we're doing this is not so much for life extension by itself, to have a longer life, but it's the quality of life that is just as important as the quantity.
It's called calorie restriction with optimal nutrition. Basically, eating less to live longer. It's scientifically proven in lab rats, almost doubling their life expectancy.
I'll grab some bags.
But what the diet will do for Peter and Louise is a medical mystery. The average American consumes about 2,500 calories a day. Louise and Peter survive on 1,800.
I've got them.
Even though I'm probably eating 600 calories a day less than I did before.
Thank you.
The nutrients, the quality of the food that I'm having has dramatically increased. Malnutrition, of course, it's exactly the opposite, and that's why we call it cron. Okay, what else? Calorie restriction with optimal nutrition. Do we need any dressing?
The immediate effect is a noticeable loss of body fat.
Certainly don't need anything here.
Yeah.
This is junk food
Not today.
section. Yeah.
And hunger.
But I'm so hungry.
But with the proper nutrients and eating habits, it doesn't have to be dangerous.
I was quite hungry, for probably 6 months, but I realize now that I actually did it too fast.
Fat-free?
Yeah. I'm now at a stage where, in fact, I almost have the opposite problem. I find myself being full. I think your stomach shrinks or something, but I find myself being full, and then I realize I haven't actually had enough calories.
And coleslaw.
Peter's work and his interest in the future led him to the diet 5 years ago.
Mushrooms.
I'm 5'10", 5'10 and a half, and when I started I was 155 pounds. I'm now 128, and that's probably about as low as I'd want to go.
I'm 5'6", I weighed 125, that was a year ago in April, and now I weigh 118, in that range. I would like to get down to 112.
A true test of calorie restriction on humans would have to begin at birth and span a lifetime. But Peter and Louise have faith that Cron will at least give them a little extra time here on Earth.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Life is good. And
we think the future is going to be much better. Technology will be better in the future, people's ethics will be better, the systems in the world will be better. So we want to be part of that.
I remember a helicopter. That's about it.
Terry Green already knows what it's like to cheat death.
He had no pulse. He had no respirations.
He touched a live wire. The jolt stopped his heart.
He looked pretty bad. It did not look good.
I don't remember a thing.
Terry lost more than just his memory on the other side.
I still reach for something other for this hand. It still feels like my hand is out there, but I reach for it and it's not there. You know. Or you think, well, I'll just reach over with my fingers. And, you can't Your fingers are not there. But in your mind, you still think they are.
Well, we're trying to break it easy to the kids. That's one of the brothers.
His fiancée, Lorraine, had to tell him he'd been dead and brought back to life.
This gentleman here, he's the one who gave him the CPR. If it hadn't been for them, I don't know that he'd have made it.
It's like my mind draws a blank on that whole day. It's just deleted.
There he is. Hey, buddy.
Dr. Peter Grossman amputated Terry's hands and arms.
Well?
He saved his life.
Tired? You liking my new little toy I got you here?
Oh, yeah.
You understand what we did yesterday was clean it up again. We had still a little bit of the muscle on top of the arm. It just was still looking a little ratty, so we had to get rid of that.
Like Terry and Lorraine, he can only guess at what happened.
He was up on a cherry picker working on fixing some power lines, and somehow there was a swing in the bucket.
It'll hit you, bam, and you won't even know it. I didn't even see this coming. And I'm up in the air working around this. This is my job.
I mean, nobody...
8,000 volts.
Nobody I know can handle that type of electrical current and survive.
Terry was taken to a hospital in Long Beach where it happened. But his salvation was a 14-minute helicopter ride to the Grossman Burn Center in Sherman Oaks.
They just basically said they didn't expect him to survive the night.
Terry's case was very difficult from the beginning because from the very onset you could see that his arms were not going to be salvageable. Okay, you put the tourniquet down?
Grossman is one of a handful of burn centers in the world that could successfully treat a case like Terry's.
His fingers were basically blown off. He had bones that were sticking out like little sticks of wood throughout both hands, and I had to amputate those the day he came in.
This one, they started with the 4 fingers, and then they moved up a little bit more. He's basically just about right here. I know there's none of this bone here, and there's only part of this bone here. It's back in here. So he does have the elbow here.
Give me a couple units of blood, all right?
With electrical injuries, the damage is deceiving. The current travels through muscles, nerves, veins, and arteries with a heat that slowly kills everything in its path.
Forceps to me, please.
But it can take weeks to discover what tissue has survived and what tissue has been irreparably damaged.
First time I ever seen anybody get a prescription for a Budweiser.
I get a Budweiser every evening.
We really didn't know what his neurological outcome was going to be. We didn't know whether, in fact, Terry was just going to be a vegetable with no arms.
See, it's going to leak here. Hold on.
And that was really scary for the family.
You get it turned and it'll get caught up in these wires here.
And we could give them no reassurance one way or the other. And we're going to rotate it under here and cover this area.
Terry was in a medical coma for his first 10 operations.
All that indented area, I'm going to fill that in with muscle.
Each time, Dr. Grossman has had to amputate more and more of Terry's arms.
Looking skin from the back of your... Every time that I would go into the operating room and have to cut away some part of Terry's body, whether his fingers or his hands or his arms, and every time I say, oh, God, I hope this is the last time I have to do this for him. And I would come back and I knew I had to cut way more. It would just kill me because I would have to go back and tell him or tell Lorraine or tell Terry's mother, I'm sorry. It just wasn't the end yet. We've still got more to go. I hope that's your last operation, okay?
Me too.
Yeah, I bet. Been through quite a lot.
Terry has one more major surgery to endure.
Pretty sure.
Dr. Grossman must cover an exposed hole in his right arm.
Then you just got to sit tight for a few days, let the wounds heal, and then we'll start the dressing changes.
If successful, Terry can leave the center and begin his rehabilitation.
Is to get your arms ready to be able to use the prostheses, the fake arms that we talked about.
70 miles south of Sherman Oaks
My primary care physician doesn't perform this procedure.
lives another family in need of life-saving surgery.
Yes, well, you're right next to the cancer center.
Kelly Blanche Dell is living with cancer. Los Angeles may hold her last, best hope.
Come in today at 3 o'clock and do all of the pre-op stuff.
Medicine is an answer,
But there are lots of other pieces that go with medicine, and I have faith.
Let me think. Socks.
Do you need any other things? You got pajamas?
I have pajamas.
Kelly and her husband, Tony, have dedicated their lives to helping others.
Slippers, do you think they'll give?
She's a former trauma
Slippers
nurse.
They'll give you?
I don't want those ugly slippers.
Okay.
He's a respiratory therapist.
All right.
I have makeup.
Today, they will drive north to L.A.
I think I have everything.
And tomorrow, Kelly will undergo a daring surgery.
If I don't, oh well.
Got your toothbrush.
The Dells are hoping it's the last stop in a long and painful journey that began 9 months ago.
All right.
With a wedding and what seemed to be a simple case of the flu.
Tony and I went to Las Vegas to get married on October 28th, came home on the 29th. On November 1st, I went to see my family doctor because I still wasn't up to par. I still didn't, something wasn't right.
And she was laying on her side. I remember this very vividly. It was dark. And her first words to me was, "I have colon cancer."
I'll be sitting in the sun.
Out in the back, yeah, like your son's sitter.
Yeah, can't you tell? Had surgery on November 2nd. Came home on November 9th. Started chemo the first week of December. Let's do it.
All right.
It had also gone to my ovaries and the uterus, so I had a hysterectomy at the same time. It's the home stretch. Cancer is an ugly little devil, and it hides in opportunistic places. And then I'll be in the recovery room for at least an hour.
Just when they thought she had it beat, a CAT scan in April revealed the cancer had spread to her liver.
Something like that, so you guys want...
Historically, finding the disease there translates to a death sentence.
Do you have your power of attorney in your living will?
I do. It's in the car with the papers I'm supposed to take to my doctor's appointment because they'll need
Tomorrow, Kelly tries an operation known as cryosurgery. Doctors will freeze the 4 lesions in an effort to kill the cancer before it spreads.
And there are things that I didn't put on the living will and all of that stuff.
And even though her LA doctor helped perfect the procedure,
I don't want them. I'm going to go to a hospital where I know no one, to a doctor who I've met one time. I'm putting my life in his hands, and I am terrified. But it's just another challenge. It'll work.
supreme faith is the common thread. An undying belief that it will work, that the doctors are the very best, and that Los Angeles really is a city of angels. It's mid-morning in Marina del Rey.
So what kind of cracker do you want?
I'm going to have peanut butter and banana.
Me too.
Peter Foss and Louise Gold are already on their third snack of the day.
Yes, banana, please.
Okay.
A not so ripe one.
What we actually both do is we eat many little snacks during the day, and then we probably have 2 larger meals. So it'd be fairly normal for us to have maybe 6 snacks of 100 calories, a 400 calorie breakfast, and then maybe a 600 calorie dinner.
They hope a diet of fewer calories and more nutritious foods will add up to a longer life.
I would like to live, be at least 90, at least. Strawberries and blueberries.
Each day they count their calories
Non-fat yogurt.
and work off a third of what they eat through exercise
Oh, I weighed 118 earlier,
while watching their weight.
but I've had quite a bit of tea and coffee and breakfast already.
A good friend of mine, she hadn't seen me for about a year or so, and when she first saw me, she was really distraught. The immediate automatic reaction was, he must be dying, he must be sick, you know, there must be something terribly wrong. Bon appetit.
Guten Appetit.
Peter admits both he and Louise have put their faith in an unproven science.
I think strawberry season is on its way out.
He feels that you have to believe if you want calorie restriction to work.
You need to want to live long, and they need to be reasonably convinced that this is going to help. Believing scientifically that it makes sense.
Delish.
The benefits are proportional. No, I don't think it's for everyone.
Okay, see you on the other side.
Time for Terry Green to go back under. Lorraine, his fiancée, has watched him disappear down that hallway and into the OR 10 times now.
The prognosis is guarded but good. We have an area of open wound that has exposed muscle and exposed bone. It needs to be covered.
Okay, OC.
Dr. Grossman has had to cut so much dead tissue from Terry's right arm
OC, Terry's asleep.
that the bone and a major artery are now exposed.
You can see a pulsation of his brachial artery.
He must cover this area with muscle, not just skin, in order to save it.
You can always try if you want.
The surgeons will attempt to partially detach a diamond-shaped area of muscle and skin from Terry's back and rotate it up to the arm. The key is to keep the vein that connects the back muscle to the body intact.
If you turn backwards, aren't you kinking your vessel?
So that it continues to get a fresh supply of blood.
All right, let's go ahead and prep them up. There are always some variables that occur, and there is a possibility that it doesn't work the way we want it to.
It takes an hour for Dr. Grossman and his team to detach the muscle. A handheld Doppler ultrasound machine detects a pulse. The blood supply is intact.
Very carefully pull it without pulling it off its blood supply, Alex, if you can.
They slide the diamond-shaped tissue through an opening in Terry's armpit, rotate it, and place it on the exposed wound in Terry's arm.
Add to the bone.
But as doctors begin stapling up Terry's back, Dr. Grossman notices a problem.
Well, we're looking for the fact that we're not kinking the vein.
Rotating the muscle under the armpit has twisted the vein. They'll have to try it again.
Instead of twisting it, we can lay it over itself when we come through the tunnel and not kink it.
They straighten the vein and slide the tissue back through the armpit.
Okay, we'll leave it like this.
But still, no strong pulse.
You know what I vote for?
Not yet.
Terry has been on the table now for 3 hours. They will try once more to straighten the vein supplying blood to the covering tissue.
This might be a little bit stretched out, but we'll give it a shot.
If it does not work, the tissue will die. The exposed wound will not heal. That will mean more surgery, more amputation, and less chance that Terry would ever be able to use an artificial limb.
I don't know why I keep crying today.
The Dells drive north, along Interstate 405 to Los Angeles.
We are totally out of our element right now. We are, as far as I'm concerned, in no man's land.
70 miles to a possible life-saving technique. But the LA traffic makes it an ordeal.
I don't think I was ever this scared for the other things, though.
Their destination? The Cancer Center in Century City, home of 20th Century Fox.
Yep.
Oh, Kel, did you ever think that you would be doing this?
No, never in a million years.
It's one of only a handful of places in the world that offers a cancer treatment known as cryosurgery.
Take care.
Dr. Leland Foshag helped perfect the procedure. In it, liquid nitrogen is used like a scalpel to freeze and kill cancerous tumors in place.
Is there anybody else to see? We first started doing this technique here and as one of the first places to do it in the west of the United States back in about 1992. But it's clearly, as the technology has improved, our results and our abilities have improved as well.
30,000 people are diagnosed with liver cancer each year. For more than 80%, traditional surgery would do more harm than good.
Here, you can see this area of dark in the upper part of the liver, and the rest of this is just normal surrounding liver.
The tumors are too deep to remove without destroying the liver.
In June, part of it may be just where the cuts from the CAT scan show, so it's a little hard to tell.
Dr. Foshag meets with the family, Kelly's son Brandon and daughter Nicole, Tony's daughter Allison, to explain his plan.
because we can actually, we'll be able to see the ice ball, as we call it, build and encompass not only the lesion but part of the normal liver around it, so we get a rim of normal liver.
Liquid nitrogen, a substance so cold it will kill anything it comes in contact with, will destroy the cancer. The dead tissue will be flushed out of the body.
I would love to go in there and find that these are benign and not cancerous.
Right.
But I'm prepared to deal with them that they probably are. This is a...
In addition to the cryosurgery, Dr. Foshag plans to implant this round metal pump.
And basically, it's not battery operated or anything. It's run by a chemical conversion between a liquid...
Actually developed here in Los Angeles at the Cancer Center. This cutting-edge technology will give her a small dose of chemotherapy, 24 hours a day.
So you're actually bathing the cancers over a much longer period of time. This catheter is what we actually...
The pump will mean no weekly visits, no nausea, and no hair loss.
This tumor, our hope would be we just need to use this and can avoid...
And that in itself would be a tremendous victory.
Oh, I have questions every day, darling. Don't worry.
If all goes well, Kelly's survival rate could go from 18 months to 5 years or more.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. There you go.
See you in the morning.
But only if this new cancer is confined to the liver.
See that?
I just have to get a chest X-ray.
Oh, you haven't done that yet?
No.
Okay.
And they won't know that for sure until Kelly is on the operating table. In the operating room at the Grossman Burn Center in Sherman Oaks,
We're looking for the fact that we're not kicking the vein.
Dr. Grossman and his team have attempted for the third time to rotate a piece of muscle and skin from Terry Green's back and attach it to what's left of his right arm.
Now, this is just a test. If we've got nice, healthy red blood coming from it, then we know that everything is doing well.
The first 2 times, a kink in the vein prevented the muscle from getting its normal flow of blood.
You can see here the blood's starting to come out. That's really what we're looking for.
The pinprick proves the third try worked. Now Terry's largest wound is covered and being bathed in healthy blood.
Good afternoon, Terry. We got you, Terry.
That means no more amputations.
Peace out.
And the real chance of fitting in with prosthetics for both arms after his wounds heal. 7 a.m. at the Cancer Center in Century City, just west of downtown Los Angeles.
The only thing I need you to sign this morning is a consent of service for treatment here at the hospital.
It's the morning of Kelly Dell's cryosurgery.
Getting nervous now?
More scared.
Yeah.
If we did nothing other than just continue to treat her with various forms of chemotherapy through her veins and such,
And I think I'm supposed to be here. Hi.
her chance of living more than a year and a half or 2 years is less than 50%.
Her third operation in the last 9 months is scheduled to begin in just over an hour.
It's the waiting. Once everything is set in motion and it's over, then we deal with what happened. And we expect good things to happen with this.
Third time's charm.
Yeah, third time's a charm. Okay.
This actually is a pretty big X-ray.
I think that if they see you, there's a little bit more pressure on them.
The early morning nervousness soon turns to frustration.
It doesn't matter what hospital, what facility. It's all a waiting process and you're at their mercy. It doesn't matter.
Can we say goodbye?
Kelly arrives on the 8th floor at 9:45.
I love you.
I love you. You guys take care of each other, okay? Somebody will always be taking care of me, but you guys take care of each other, okay? See you this afternoon.
Okay.
Oh, I have my contacts.
She's very upbeat, as we are, where this is going to be able to be completely successful and as planned in terms of ablating all the tumors, removing or killing all the tumors, and then putting in the pump.
How are you doing?
For Kelly, the waiting is over.
As it goes in your intravenous.
For her family, it's just begun.
It'll make you feel a whole lot better.
Just a few hours earlier, across town, another life was about to begin. At Santa Teresita Hospital on the north edge of LA, Pamela Neighbor's waiting is almost over. The miracle of birth is underway. She's in her second hour of labor.
Oh my gosh.
She and her husband Darren chose to bring their daughter Sarah into this world underwater. Over 2.5 million women a year choose this method. But this one is unique and a first for LA. Because this water birth is taking place inside a hospital.
I'd say she's going to deliver in the next hour, but I'm not a rocket scientist and I'm certainly not God.
Santa Teresita is one of the few hospitals nationwide that have installed their own birthing tub. Pamela is one of over 2,000 women each year who choose this method to avoid using pain medication. The water helps her relax between contractions, controlling the stress. It allows her own endorphins, the body's natural chemical pain relievers, to speed up the labor.
Well, something definitely did something. I don't know, maybe it was just you. I don't know. Okay.
Still bulging a little bit. You probably have a little leak.
Pamela's cervix has now dilated to 4 centimeters. At this rate, Sarah Grace will be here by dawn.
Remember last time? 3. 3.
We know.
3. There was a 3 in it. It's 3.
There is a reason Pam chose the water birth method.
Squeeze it hard.
His name is Noah.
You gonna help us make some peaches?
Noah took his own sweet time leaving the safety of his mother's womb.
It took 25 hours. I was expecting 10. Oh, no.
In the 10th hour of labor, she asked for an epidural.
They don't all take, and mine didn't, but it ended up giving me an incredible headache, an undescribable headache, and then nausea and everything that comes with that. And when it didn't go as I thought it should, I felt like a failure afterwards for 3 years.
Noah now has the run of the house in the mountains of Big Bear, 2 hours north of LA.
You got my shoulders?
Pamela and Darren have their son to thank, at least in part, for this second chance at a natural childbirth.
Noah asked for over a year to have a baby.
Smells like candy, huh?
So I thought that we could do that for him.
Yeah, do it, guys. Follow me.
There's an area here of scar fibrous tissue that's a little more dense than what we...
Kelly has been on the operating table for less than an hour. And already Dr. Foshag has made an unwanted discovery.
It's a little suspicious for an area of tumor that's an implant outside of the bowel. Could you call pathology to come and get this for frozen for us?
An analysis on it or something?
It could just be scarring from Kelly's previous colon cancer surgery.
Impossible to distinguish from little small implants of cancer.
That Metzger.
T-scan.
Dr. Foshag, pathologist, is here.
Cryosurgery, freezing cancerous lesions inside the liver, has an 87% success rate in doubling and sometimes tripling the patient's survival rate.
You could do a frozen for us, too.
Thank you much. I will return.
Okay.
But if the cancer has already spread outside the liver,
Can I have a label? Thank you.
then all bets are off.
All right.
the highest lesion.
The team presses on, preparing Kelly for the cryosurgery.
But you can see the liver is actually quite mobile as we move it up and out from the attachments.
They have freed up the liver, located the lesions. But just as the cryosurgery is set to begin...
Hi, Dr. Foshak.
Hi,
just completed the frozen section. There's evidence of metastatic carcinoma in the nodule in smooth muscle.
In that small?
In that small tissue fragment you gave us, yes.
The nodules were invisible to the CAT scans. There was no way the doctors could have known.
It means that she has disease outside of the liver, such that no matter how successful we are with the disease in the liver, by having proved the disease outside the liver, her long-term prognosis is not going to be as favorable.
Now Dr. Foshag faces the hardest part of his job.
I'm just going to take the elevator down.
Telling Tony and the rest of the family. Even if they proceed, the cryosurgery may not extend Kelly's life.
Hi. Just giving you an update. We did find about a half a dozen very, very small 4 or 5 millimeter type nodules that are outside of the liver. It's not overwhelming at all. In fact, we've removed all that we found. I think that our chances of controlling her disease better for her and longer still to proceed with the liver.
It is devastating news, but with Kelly on the operating table, it demands an immediate decision.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, she wanted to be aggressive on this point, so as long as
Tony okays the operation. Dr. Foshag will continue his plan.
Okay.
Everything's pretty well laid out. It's just a matter of now going through the steps.
Okay.
But the hope that this cryosurgery would be Kelly's last cancer treatment is fading fast.
This is shock. This is the shock to have this news that there was some disease outside the liver, and have to take a breath and regroup. Kelly's not going to be a happy woman after she wakes up.
It's been almost a week since Terry Green's last surgery.
Can you feel the stretch when you do that?
I'm angry when I first wake up because I'm thinking, it's my fault. You've been in this business all your life. And look at you, you screwed up. You know better. You don't know for sure.
How you doing as far as your range of motion?
He has one last visit with Dr. Grossman before moving on to a rehabilitation center.
He says physical therapy's gonna be hard. I don't think so.
This all looks terrific. I'm really happy with this.
Skin and muscle from Terry's back has been rotated up to his arm.
A lot of tissue here.
It took 11 operations, but Terry is finally out of danger.
Thank you.
Thank you a lot, Peter. I'll be back.
Thank you for everything, and you were so good with
It is an emotional day for the staff as well.
Thank you so much for everything.
Most have seen their share of death and disfigurement. Terry's case is as good as it gets.
Thank you.
Our miracle boy. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Grossman has been Terry's home for the past 9 weeks now.
It's a hard room to look at. A lot happens in here.
The problem with burn victims is once they leave the hospital, they've only just begun to start their rehabilitative process. They've got to go through months of therapy and then years of reconstructive surgery. And that takes its toll on people emotionally, and that can be a very difficult thing to go through.
But Terry seems unconcerned about the future. He's free now to return to the scene of his death, to search for the searing memories blocked from his mind. All systems are go at the cancer center in Century City.
Can you bring our machine in a little bit? Sure. Because we're going to need to be coming in from this direction.
Dr. Foshag and his team are about to begin the cryosurgery procedure to kill cancerous lesions inside Kelly Blanchdell's liver. Even though they now know it may not extend her life.
This is the probe is what we place into the tumor itself. It freezes sort of a teardrop lollipop at the end. Okay, go ahead and freeze, Leo. We're confirmed.
Okay. Ultrasound equipment, sensitive enough to determine the sex of a child in the womb, is used to locate the boundaries of each cancerous lesion.
Edge, because that's the critical part. Even if we freeze the center of the tumor, if we don't freeze the edge, then we haven't controlled the tumor.
The slender steel probes are connected to tanks of liquid nitrogen and a computer to monitor the temperature of the surrounding tissue.
There you can see the ice ball. There's the lowest edge of the tumor, which is just off the tip. Because it's been on
They will leave the probe in place until the ultrasound shows that the entire tumor has been frozen.
The probe in the ice ball is right there.
Once irreparable damage has been done to the targeted cells, the probe is switched to the thaw cycle, heated up, and removed.
Probe out. You can see there's an open hole there. Right now it's not bleeding because there's nothing to bleed. It's all still frozen. We're going to...
1 down, 3 to go.
Basically the same procedure.
But the hard part, the hardest lesion to find and kill, is now out of the way.
We always do the easiest one last.
Tony and the rest of Kelly's family have been waiting for 5.5 hours.
I'm numb, but it's been 9 months of numbness. We'll deal with the emotions later on and tomorrow.
We have now our fluorescein dye and the woods lamp.
Dr. Foshag and his team begin their final task, implanting a pump that will deliver a continuous chemotherapy treatment to Kelly's damaged liver.
We'll need the lights in the room off.
A catheter attached to the pump is sewn into a blood vessel. They test it first with a fluorescent dye.
You can see how the liver becomes a brilliant fluorescence here.
During the last step of the procedure, Dr. Foshag sews the round pump into Kelly's abdomen. It's close to the skin so that it can be refilled with a simple injection.
Kelly, open your eyes for me.
We have to tell her there may be more disease. She's going to have to go through chemotherapy. There is some more uncertainty about it. There's still clearly hope, but it's unfortunately daunted or blunted a bit.
Oh, thank you.
While the team prepares her for intensive care, Dr. Foshag goes to talk to the family.
We're done. Why don't you come here? We can stand it. All of you, sure.
The fact that we did not leave her with any gross disease is positive.
She's actually extubated. She's nice and awake in the recovery.
It's a tough thing right now. The main concern has always been to get her home so she can live her normal life. And we'll deal with what comes up then.
Despite the hopes and prayers of her family, Kelly will spend the next 3 weeks in intensive care. Even then, it's too soon to declare the surgery a success. It's just before dawn. Pamela Neighbors is moments away from giving life for the second time. She chose the water birth method in hopes of a natural childbirth. Now, as the finish line nears, she begs for help. But the decision has already been made. By little Sarah Grace herself. There's no time for an epidural. Dr. Maxwell Ohukare, chief of obstetrics, also delivered Pamela's first child. This will be his first water birth as well.
I know. We gotta do it this way. Okay, remember?
At exactly 4:58 a.m., Sarah Grace arrives. The doctor must get Sarah's head out of the water before she will take her first breath.
Why is she so blue?
It's okay, sweetie. Just calm, She's okay. She's okay. Want to pull Pammy up a little bit?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Oh my God, my baby.
Nope, there's
oh, baby girl, please try.
She's okay.
The baby's coloring is pale because of all the time in the tub. But Pamela fears the worst.
Janet!
Tommy.
Relax. Just breathe.
Okay. Take the baby. No, it's okay.
Sweet pea. There she is.
No, she's not.
She's okay.
There she is, right there.
She cannot be convinced until she hears from her daughter herself.
You get that?
She's
You
fine,
get that?
Pammy. She's
Okay.
just a girl.
Why is it hurting so much? You know you're going to be contracting.
She looks like Noah.
This is Sarah Grace Oaks. And she's hungry.
July 14th, 2000. The birthday for LA's first hospital water birth.
Holding her breath.
Oh, she's holding her breath.
Patients don't need medications. Their labor goes faster. It's less trauma on the baby, less trauma for the mother. And Pammy's living proof of it. She delivered a 9-pound, 3-ounce baby and just had a small laceration. She did great. And the baby's fine and she's nursing away.
I told my husband, I said, we only wanted 2 children and we can only afford 2 children. In our whole life, we knew we were gonna have a family size of 2. If we had done it this way, the first time, we could have had 10.
Oh, no, you don't.
Long Beach, California, 50 miles from Los Angeles. For Terry Green, a place that is a world and literally almost a life away.
20 minutes.
This is the pole he was working, the power line he inexplicably touched.
Yeah. Because they said that you could see your handprints up there. But you can't see any. You guys were, it was right there, the middle pole. Yeah.
He's come back today with Lorraine, his fiancée, his brother John and his family, to try to figure out what happened.
I guess it's kind of like John Wayne or whatever, you know. You kick death in the ass, you know, a couple of times, and but not be pushing it after that. Just my destiny, I guess, the old man upstairs taking care of me.
Unlike the Hollywood hero, Terry Green had lots of help in that fight.
How's it going?
Hey.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing, old buddy?
Good.
Wayne Parrish was working with him the day of the accident.
Good. You guys were working on that 4 kV arm. And you
The team was there to replace an old pole.
You were just primarily driving the bucket, and Nick was doing all the work.
Wayne was on his way up, scaling the pole when it happened.
And I belted off, and as I was, looking down in my belt, I could see the shadow of the pole on the ground. It was getting kind of later in the afternoon, and I could see some smoke coming off, something up there. And I looked up, and I could see about this much of your forearm sticking out of the bucket. That's yeah, on your left arm.
Wayne missed the crucial moment of contact, but what happened next will stick with him the rest of his
Big
life.
70-foot bucket. I've never seen anything like that before, and I hope I never see anything like that again. It was pretty brutal.
Wayne began screaming for someone to call 911 as his partner lowered the cherry picker with the controls on the truck.
We packed you off the rail and set you down right here on the sidewalk, just this side of that, just right in the middle of the sidewalk right there, and we started CPR, and I did chest compressions for a while, and then we switched. And
Did I have a pulse when you started that?
You had no pulse, no response, no breathing, nothing. And by the time the paramedics got here, you took 2 breaths on your own, and you had just a weak pulse,
Terry caught another break here. The Long Beach Fire Department is just around the corner.
And as we pulled up between the trucks, you could see Terry laying on the ground,
guy's doing CPR.
Hey, it's a pleasure to see you alive.
Right away I went, oh, this isn't just something to the arm. This is very serious.
How you doing?
2 firemen and 2 paramedics arrived 3 minutes after Terry's heart stopped.
Yeah, I'd like to get a picture of all y'all. I'll remember this for years.
To tell you the truth, I thought the chances for survival were pretty minimum at that time.
How many times did y'all have to bring me back anyway?
I think the machine went off twice.
8,000 volts stopped his heart. 200 would bring it back to life.
All you have to do is it's almost foolproof.
A brand new lifesaver.
It gives you a prompt.
The automatic external defibrillator did it.
And we go ahead and it analyzes the heart rhythm to make sure that it's a shockable rhythm. We gave Terry 2 shocks. After the second shock, he had a real strong bounding pulse. It's pretty satisfying.
I'm going to take several shots, okay?
Terry has one more stop.
1, 2, 3.
To say thank you to the ER staff at St. Mary's Medical Center.
Oh my gosh.
How you doing?
Hi. Oh. Hi.
Hi. I don't remember you, but...
I remember you.
Oh, imagine. It's fine shape.
Nurse Kelly Arroyo will never forget.
He looked like he was dead. He had contracted arms, and he had one hand was completely degloved. When we took the gloves off him, all the bones were exposed and his fingers fell off.
I mean, we see so many horrible stories, but to see someone doing so well as you, it just really does make
In such a short amount of time.
Make it worthwhile and makes us all feel good. And
It's a medical fairy tale.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I did. We got to see her. We were very fortunate. I think had he not had the people respond so fast here, I do not believe this man would have made it. There's just, I think, had he been anywhere else, he would have been one of those statistics. And we're very, very lucky. You know, I could have been going to a funeral instead of sharing a life.
It's been nearly 2 months since Kelly Blanchdell's cryosurgery.
A few little remaining staple holes, but things are healed in very nicely.
I'm feeling better and stronger every day. I've returned to work 1 day a week. I'm ready to get up and live again.
The operation was a success,
Well, everything heals. It's healing very nicely.
but the new lesions will have to be monitored.
Stuff I would suggest, if the ones we found were there, the potential is that there's other ones, if they're not at the same size even, because they were even smaller, they're in the process of forming, those will need to be treated and may very well be the thing that gets us into trouble in the long term. She's a fighter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly is not ready to accept that life and death in L.A.
You take care.
boils down to a numbers game.
Another hurdle?
Yep.
Yeah.
She's paying no attention to the odds.
Okay, so we just go on.
Yep.
You can't break a spirit. You have to have the spirit and the will and whatever feistiness I still have in order to say, I'm not gonna sit back and let this beat me. Okay, I'll see you out in the world, not back in here, okay?
Okay, take care.
Thanks.
You too. Thank you. Bye. I've been given challenges all my life. I expect to have several more. And my spirit is not yet broken, and I don't anticipate it to be.